This might sound wild, but if I won the lottery today, the first car I'd buy today is a Ford Fiesta ST. It's a readily available car, and it is one of the most fun cars to drive at any price point. But actually, I wouldn't. I'd go and buy a Puma ST because it's got a bigger boot than the Fiesta ST, but otherwise it's basically the same. So I can carry all my kids' cuddly toys, nappies, screaming fits, and all the rest of it. So join me for a full review of the Puma ST, where we find out if it's a hot hatch for people with responsibilities. The Puma is then a small SUV. It's only 30mm longer than a Fiesta, and the regular one is only 50mm higher. And I say the regular Puma because this is the sporty ST, so it's actually got a 20mm drop. But anyway, it's barely an SUV. Look, it's not very tall at all. But one area where it is bigger than a Fiesta is price. For a new one, it's £5 more than the equivalent Fiesta, so what do you get for your money? Well, you certainly get an interior that's basically the same as the one in the Fiesta, or in this case, the Fiesta ST, because you get these beautiful, huggy Recaro seats, so you can feel like a racing driver on the school run. And let me show you how comfortable they are. Oh yes, they are super supportive. One thing I would say, if you're much broader than me, you'll feel a bit pinched, I think. But otherwise, the interior is pretty fantastic. There's an upgrade over the Fiesta in the form of a digital dashboard that can show you your sat-nav directions, etc, etc. It's a nice addition. The infotainment system is Ford Sync 3 system. It's pretty good. It's getting a bit old, frankly, but you can plug in to get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I've also got a wireless charger down here, loads of storage, cup holders, a credit card holder, no storage up here for my sunglasses, but I can fit a 2-litre water bottle in the door bin. So yeah, it is practical for a small SUV. Let's see if the back seats are roomy enough for anyone. Now I'm sitting where my darling destroyers of nappies and soft furnishings would sit. Things are a bit tight. It isn't really big enough back here for adults on long journeys. I'm 6'3", that's my driving position, and my knees are jammed into this admittedly quite soft cleft in the back of the driver's seat. I have got room for my feet, but yeah, headroom is a little bit tight if I lean all the way back, and obviously you can't see me and I can't see out if I do sit back. Getting child seats in is made a little bit tricky as well by the fact the doors don't open to a nice round 90 degrees. It's compromised because there also aren't any charging points back here. You do get little door bins for your 2-year-old's kind of Red Bull to keep them going, but otherwise it is a bit compromised as a family car. Clearly, I know nothing about style, but I do really like the way the Puma looks. It's got a sort of butch stance backed up by these LED daytime running light signatures, which you get even on the non-ST version. However, you do buy the ST, you get blacked out bits wherever there's chrome on the normal car, like that blue one that's over there. That's got chrome on its face. This one has got meanness and aggression. It's kind of the same round the side. The ST gets 19-inch alloy wheels, wrapped in very sticky Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres, which even say FP on them, which means Ford Performance. One thing you can't see is little puddle lights which shine down on the floor to stop you getting your loafers wet on a winter's night. But those lights aren't just regular cones of lights, they are big cat Pumas. So you get out of the car and step on a wild cat, which is a bit mean, I think. Around about, the Puma ST gets marked out from the regular Puma by a blacked out Puma badge and a visible twin-tip exhaust. You can't see the exhaust on a regular Puma, and it's 1 decibel quieter than the one on the Fiesta ST because this is more of a long-distance cruiser. But anyway, where your money goes on a Puma over a Fiesta is the boot. It's nearly 460 litres, which is about 160 litres bigger than the one on the Fiesta, and it's very clever. It's got something called a mega box, which is this 80-litre cubby hole under the boot floor. It's waterproof, but it's got a drain plug, so you can literally fill it with ice, chuck your bottles of drink in there, and have a party safely and without drinking alcohol and driving, because that's very bad. But what you can do is stand the boot floor up like that, so you can put tool objects in there, so you can carry pot plants home. It's genius. It's almost Honda levels of genius. It's quite scary. And when you're done with it, the boot floor just goes back up like that. But anyway, let's see how much stuff we can fit in there in the Motor Point Big Boot Challenge. Considering there's not enough room in the back of a Puma really for grown adults, I'm impressed at how big the boot is and how easily it swallowed those 4 bags. I mean, space there for an extra soft bag. Conceivably, you could do a holiday for 4 people in this car so long as the ones in the back are small. But anyway, the main reason you buy a Puma ST is because it's fun to drive, so let's hit the roads and find out if that's true. the first thing you notice when you sit behind the wheel of the Puma is that you do sit a bit higher than in a Fiesta, but not loads higher, not lording over other car drivers like in some other SUVs. But this is the ST, so you want to put the seat as low as you can, get the steering wheel out into your lap so you feel like a racing driver, and because these seats are so huggy, you feel really cocooned. The manual gear shift is really satisfying, and you've got a really tight manual handbrake, and that might or might not be good for handbrake turns. It's quite good for them. But anyway, you shouldn't do that, and I'm not condoning it. Let's talk about the engines. On the regular Puma, you basically get a choice of 1 litre 3-cylinder EcoBoost petrol engines, and just go for the one with 125 horsepower. It's pretty brisk. It'll do 0 to 62 in about 9-10 seconds, but it's reasonably efficient, and it's got a charm of its own. Now, most of the engines are mild hybrids, so you get a little 50 Newton meter electric motor built into the engine, basically, and that helps in stop-start traffic. And you don't really ever feel like it's electric at all. It's just a little bit of extra torque. But yeah, that's pretty much the summary of the engines and stuff in the Puma. We're going to get some dual carriageways and talk about how it feels at motorway speeds, if it's noisy, if it's quiet, and then we'll get some twisty country roads and have some fun. Right, I'm going to join the dual carriageway going from 30 to 70 really quite quickly. This engine is torquey, powerful, and sounds pretty good. Anyway, let's short shift up into 6th, and the revs drop to just under 3,000 RPM at 70 miles an hour. Do get a bit of wind noise off those mirrors. They might be small, but somehow they generate a little bit of noise. It's fine, not much tyre noise, and it's quite relaxing apart from the suspension. Because this has got big wheels and firm, sporty suspension, it does feel a bit jiggly, even on smooth motorway tarmac, and it is probably enough to get on your nerves a little bit on long journeys, especially if you've got sensitive kids that you don't want to wake up. I mean, it might rock them to sleep. Children are random, I can't predict what it's going to do to them, but it might annoy adults who are used to cushier suspension. In terms of safety tech, it's got all the latest Ford stuff, really, lane keep assist, emergency braking, all that kind of stuff. It's fine, it's a safe car for you and your family. But anyway, let's go on some country roads and see if we can bring out the ST's slightly less friendly side. Right, we're on a twisty country road, so I'm going to press the S button on the steering wheel, and it puts it into sport mode, and the exhaust gets a little bit ruder, and it does some burbles on gear shifts. You can press the mode button on the steering wheel as well to put it into a racetrack only mode, which slackens off the stability control. Because this is based on the same suspension as a Fiesta ST, the back end will swing round on the brakes on the way into a corner. It's called lift-off oversteer, and this car does like to do it. Obviously, I don't condone that on public roads. Take it to a racetrack if you want to do that, but it does just feel so lively. It is pretty hilarious. Now, if you've driven a Fiesta ST, you'll know how this feels. The way it darts into corners, it feels really planted, really grippy, but as you can see, that suspension is really, really firm. So on bumpy fen roads like this, it's not going to be much fun for your passengers. But I have to say, sorry cameraman, it's a lot of fun for me, very selfishly. The gear shift, as I said, is really nice. You can heel and toe. The pedals are set out really well. And if you spec the performance pack, you get a limited slip differential between the front wheels to help it put its power down out of corners. And you also get launch control, but that's sort of pointless because this is front wheel drive. Anyway, it's so much fun to drive. It's all down to the way the rear suspension setup. It's got weird banana shaped springs to help it spring sideways round corners. It's almost designed to be unstable, and it's hilarious. It's 9/10 as hilarious as a Fiesta ST. 8/10. It's very good fun. But anyway, let's go back to Motorpoint for an outro. Ford says the Puma ST is for people who have had Fiesta STs but grown up, had kids and moved on with their lives, and frankly, yes, it does give you about 80% as much smile factor as a Fiesta ST. It's a bit more spacious, but not massively so in the back seats, but the boot is a lot bigger. Now, hasn't really got any rivals in the fun hot hatch SUV space. There's the Volkswagen T-Roc R, but that's a lot more expensive, a lot faster, and still not as much fun as this. So yeah, if you want a fun to drive small SUV, even the basic Puma is a winner, and the Puma ST just takes it to the next level. It's a very good car. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if it's been helpful, and subscribe to the Motorpoint YouTube channel. It's got plenty of nearly new car reviews coming very soon, and head over to motorpoint.co.uk to see our full range of nearly new cars that you can drive away today. See you next time.